All right. Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever, wherever you are watching this. I appreciate your time more than you know. I had the pleasure of speaking to a gentleman by the name of Adam Taylor, who was on my previous video with me. Adam, again, thank you for your time. Shout out to you, brother. You're the man. Covers the Boston Celtics at a level I could only hope to get to someday. But he was just gracious enough with his time to, educate me on everything that's going on in the YouTube world, getting it, a channel started up. And then we also got to deep dive into some Celtics topics. We spoke on Rob Williams and Al Horford because right now, and with camp coming up in a few weeks, my idea is let's do videos on camp battles. What are you going to see in these Celtics this year? It is going to be, they're deep. There's going to be competition in this, training camp. It's going to be live. So I kind of wanted to go into people of a similar mold, similar situation, position, role, whatever it is. And I just kind of wanted to talk about them. That's why Al Horford, Rob Williams. Then we got into Aaron Nesmith versus Josh Richardson, which was an interesting one. And I didn't actually plan on doing that because I wanted to get more into Smart and Schroder. But him being in the Aaron Nesmith starter category, whereas I was more so with the Richardson, I just kind of wanted to, see if he could convince me to join the Aaron Nesmith camp. And he damn sure came close to doing it. I almost agreed to the fact of maybe Richardson isn't the best based on shooting. Maybe we need to see how he turns out as a shooter. But I'm not sure it can be Nesmith either. I still think he's a year away. But because we did that, I figured, let me go ahead and finish up talking about the guards of the team, some of the things you might expect in the upcoming training camp. So I'm going to talk first about Marcus Smart and Dennis Schroder, who pretty much would be the two primary ball handlers, primary ones, I believe. These are both starter level players, guys that have had success. And if we're being honest, one of these two would be the starter. Romeo Langford or Payton Pritchard is not going to start over either one of these guys, So I'll start there, and then I will also go over to Payton Pritchard and Romeo Langford. That way I feel like almost all the guards have been covered at that point. I understand Richardson and Nesmith could also, play some wing, but I feel like, let's go ahead and touch on those other four guards as well. So Marcus Smart. Who is Marcus Smart? Most tenured Celtic, been here 7 years, multiple all defensive NBA teams. Last year, 32 minutes a game. He averaged 13 points, 3.5 boards, just under 6 assists a game. Shot 33% from three. I know. Who is he, though? He is the heart and soul of this team. He is not a captain, but if there was going to be a captain, it would be him. People have called for that. So heart and soul, defensive tone setter, leader. I mean, what can I say about Marcus Smart that hasn't already been said? I love the man. I am so excited to see him this year as a primary playmaking guard. I mean, he was our 2 last year, but had more assists than our 1. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things. So he will be competing with Dennis Schroder for the starting point guard position, though that's not fair. Well, it is a competition for the starting point guard position, but I also would say more so for minutes because I firmly think Marcus Smart is going to be the starter, especially to start the year. But now, who is Dennis Schroder? And I made a video, the Schroder Chronicles, where I kind of went into, his timeline and who he is in depth there. But Schroder, 27 years old, same as Marcus Smart, multiple years in the league, played with Atlanta for, I think, 5 years, OKC for several years, played with LA last year where he averaged 15.5 points, 3.5 boards, just under 6 assists, and also shot 33% from the three-point line. So very similar to Marcus Smart, very similar, almost identical stats with the exception of averaging 2+ more points. Their stats were almost identical. So Schroder, who is he? Before last year, he was a guy that would come off the bench, a potential 6th man of the year candidate. His last year in OKC, he damn near averaged 24-4 while shooting 38.5% from 3 on 30 minutes. So think of that. 2 less minutes coming off the bench, and the look at the stats that he did and the role that he had in OKC. And that is kind of what I'm hoping for when he comes to the Boston Celtics. I do not think that, let me be careful, how do I say this? Because I can't confidently say Marcus Smart is way better than Dennis Schroder, because I don't believe that. I think that it is pretty close between the two of them. I could see either way an argument being made on who the starter needs to be. But I believe my expectations for this team are going to be Marcus Smart at the 1, starting, averaging about 15 points, 7 assists, 4 boards, God willing, shooting 36% from 3. That's an improvement. That's his career high. I think the best he ever shot was a little over 36%. So if we can just get him back up to the potential career high on 3, I believe he gets back to his defensive capabilities. He had a down year last year. He was injured last year. So let's hope for a full season, healthy season, getting back to an old defensive level player. Dennis Schroder, my expectations for him, coming off the bench in a 6-man role. I believe he might be the first substitution into the game for either Smart or Richardson, whoever that second guard is starting. I believe you'll see him come in for quick, shifty, elusive kind of player, great at attacking the basket, not the best shooter in the world. In fact, that's not really our strength here with any of our guards. Smart, Richardson, Schroder. I mean, with the exception of Payton, and I'll get to him shortly, not really the best shooters here. So Dennis Schroder coming off the bench, averaging 16, 4.5 assists, 3 or 4 rebounds, and just setting the tone, being that spark of energy off the bench that we need, just getting us those points. And he's a vet at this point, man. He's playing for his next contract. I mean, this is a potential $15, $20 million player playing on $6 million. Like $6 million, since that's so bad, right? Jesus. So that could go one of two ways. I mean, I think the Celtics were very wise in locking down everyone. You know, Smart, so you didn't have Richardson as well, so you didn't have 4 or 5 people out there all playing on a contract year. You just got Schroder. And the beautiful thing about that is that even if he goes out there and he goes crazy and is going too hard, they can bench his ass or trade him or do whatever they want. They can say, sit your ass down. They don't owe him anything. They can do what they need to do with him. His best interest will be to come in here, play whatever role he needs to play, and work on being the best teammate that he can be. No one is denying Dennis Schroder's talent. But if you listen to the man's reputation, it's shit. They don't talk highly about him. He's said to be selfish, kind of an a-hole. You know what I mean? So if he can come in, kind of get away from that bad teammate narrative, be a veteran, be a leader, just be what he was in OKC while working on his reputation, he'll go and get his money the following year. Shout out to Marcus Smart for also signing that extension the day after Dennis Schroder got signed. Coincidence? So those will be our 2 lead guards, our starter, and then our first guard off the bench will, without question, be Marcus Smart and Dennis Schroder. So we've touched on Smart, Schroder, Richardson, and Nesmith. If you want to hear more, go please watch the episode with me and Mr. Taylor. So that leaves us with 2 others, I would say, and this is going to be about more a bench role, and that would be Payton Pritchard and Romeo Langford. First off with Payton Pritchard. I will never ever in my life say a bad thing about Payton Pritchard. Why? Because last year when we drafted him, my ass was in the comment section in YouTube. I wasn't happy with the pick, not so because of him, but because of the position. I wanted a front court player at that point. I was looking more, I don't even remember who I was, that was a later pick, but I just remember being a little pissy because I was wanting like a Sadiq Bey or a Precious Achua. Like those were the guys I was looking at early in the draft just because I thought we needed some more help down low. But Lord have mercy, man. Those, how do they say it? The comments not aging well. They crucified me, and rightfully so, because that kid balled out, especially to start the year. Neither one of Nesmith, Pritchard, or any rookie last year had a training camp or a summer league. They didn't have a summer league or anything like that. They basically got drafted and went straight into it. So this previous season, they got thrown to the fire. And if you look at Pritchard, he's still in 19 minutes a game, averaged nearly 8 points, 2.5 boards, 2 assists, and he shot 40+% from 3. I repeat, he shot 40+% from three. Going into his second year, he was huge for us last year. Remember I said he did not get to compete in the previous season Summer League. He did this year, and Lord have mercy, he set it on fire. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was on the All-Summer League team. Now, going into the finals, he met a demon named Davion Mitchell, who just... Any people that talk about defensive players not being important and they can... Did you see what Davion Mitchell was able to do to the game from a defensive standpoint? His defense completely changed that game. That is what a Marcus Smart and certain players like those guys, Drew Holiday, that's what they can do to the game. Payton Pritchard going into that game was averaging 20 points, 9 assists, just under 9 assists, just under 6 rebounds, and was shooting damn near 58% from three. Like, what? Even after that game, he still finished with the same assists, rebounds, similar. His points, I think, dropped down to 16.5, 17. He had a 92-point Pro AM game, and that came at such a crucial time because it was right around the time IT, and shout out to Isaiah Thomas. I love you, IT. Thank you so much for everything you gave to this city. When we were down, when we were expecting a rebuild, you picked our asses up and you said, bullshit, we're the Boston Celtics. We're going to go compete. I love you, IT. Thank you for everything. I do not want to see Isaiah Thomas back with the Boston Celtics. I do not want him to come back and ride the bench and tarnish what I remember from IT is what I want to always remember from his time in Boston. He does not need to come back and sit behind a second-year guy in Richard and Langford. No. He does deserve a job in the NBA, and God willing, he gets one. But his buzz at that time was he scored 81 points in a Pro-Am league. He scored 70 in a Pro-Am league. It was cool to see Payton go and outperform those, scoring 92. It's like, guys, these are the best in the world. You know what I mean? So, of course, they're scoring 100 damn points in a Pro-Am league. Jesus. Last but not least, actually, let me point this out too. Payton, his per 36 last year was putting him close to 15 points, 4.5 boards, 3.5 assists. So that gives you kind of a better idea of if he was getting those additional minutes. He was great. He was great, especially at the start of the year, the finish. I'm a huge Payton Pritchard fan. One of the perks of trading Chris Dunn, even though I'm a fan, was the fact that we will be able to see how, Payton develops a little bit more, and that is exciting. I want him to get as many minutes as he can because Schroder will be gone after the season. Shit, he might be gone during the season via trade. So I want Payton to be developed as much as possible because I want him in that role as that second guy right off the bench behind Smart, running that offense. I'm a huge Payton Pritchard fan, and I wasn't at first. That kid made me a damn believer. Finally, Romeo Langford, and Payton Pritchard, I will note, is 23 years old, a little older. Romeo Langford, who is going into his third year, is only 21 years old. Now, Romeo, man, what can I say about Romeo? I am a huge fan of Romeo. I believe in the kid's potential, but I'm also in the camp of I'm ready to move on from him. He's in the Carson Edwards, Grant Williams, Romeo Langford. They're all in that same damn boat, and I'm trying to push that shit out to sea. You know what I mean? No paddles, just go. But I do think the kid has potential, but it's all about his injuries, man. He's been in the league 2 years and has only played in 50 games in 2 years. 50 games. So always hurt. It was his wrist. He's always hurt. But we do see signs and flashes from him athletically. That dunk in Summer League damn near killed the man he dunked on. He damn near killed him. The cops were running in, SWAT, homicide on the court. It was incredible. He has that in him. Shit, I didn't even know he has it in him. Clearly he has it in him. But he also has potential as a defender. We've seen his shot, but Romeo is a slashing defender. That is pretty much his profile. 15 minutes a game last year. He averaged 3 points, 2 rebounds, less than an assist a game, shot 28% from three. Per 36, and this is why I mentioned Payton's, just to kind of give you an idea. His per 36, Romeo's were 7 points, 4.5 boards, and 2 assists. So Romeo, he's a bigger guard. He's 6'4" compared to Payton, who's 6'1". I like the size. I like his ability to be kind of a secondary playmaker. I know they've tried him out as the one also. kind of like in a Josh Richardson role, that guy that can be a 2 or 3, but also can dribble at times. But I don't know, man. Romeo, if he's at that point now, he had his first summer league. He's healthy. God, well, he didn't play in the summer league finals, so he's healthy. Knock on wood. Let's give him a chance. Let's see how this year goes, because, I mean, why not? Right? Why not? Let's give the kid a chance, a full season. This dude has started for us in playoff games and done well at times. We have seen flashes from him. I feel like it's a confidence thing with Romeo. I feel like it's his health concerns. I feel like I want to see if he can stay healthy. Let's see what the kid can be. Chris Dunn is gone. You pretty much are going to be competing with Payton, with Aaron Nesmith for your minutes. Let's see what he can do. And if it doesn't work out now, him, Grant, it might be time to move on for those guys. You might be able to package them and get something back. You might be surprised, you know what I mean? Especially if you're trying to move like a Schroder at some point, a Schroder and a Langford, you know, who knows? Or when the bigger trades come, if they come, Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, whoever, he might also be included in that. So my expectations for Payton and Romeo, like I said, I believe this upcoming season, you'll see Smart as the starter, Schroder as the lead guard off the bench. I believe Payton will get some run. I don't know if he gets 20 minutes a game. I don't think he gets that many just based on how many guards there are ahead of him. Losing Dunn did help, but I do expect him to be a sharp shooter. I would like to see, for me, I would like the second unit to be Schroder, Pritchard, Nesmith, Wancho, and Al Horford. The reason being is because you got Schroder attacking, and he's dishing it out to every single one of those guys that are going to be able to light it up from 3. I want to see Nesmith out there with Schroder to give them that tandem of 2 ball handlers, 2 playmakers, you know what I mean? Romeo, he's going to be competing with, I think, Nesmith to be in that, 2/3 hybrid role position coming off the bench, maybe subbing in for Richardson or Jalen, for one of those guys. I do not think that he beats out Aaron Nesmith or Payton. I believe that he will be kind of in that Grant Williams category where it's like you've got your starters, you got your key role players, and once, you're ready to take out one of the key role players but not put a starter back in, you might slide one of those guys in to get a few minutes here and there. That's basically what I expect them to be. What else do we got? Statistical expectations. I gave you Smart. I gave you Schroder. I would say Payton Pritchard statistically this year will probably honestly be similar to the previous year. Maybe about 8-9 points, 2-3 assists, shooting around 40%. Nesmith, I think he will also get up there. I think Romeo, I don't even want to guess his stats just because it probably won't even be worth mentioning. But I do think that both Aaron Nesmith and Payton Pritchard take that huge second year step. And I think both of those guys are really close. They're close. They're going to both be very, very valuable role players this upcoming season. But when I said close, they are not too far away from being starter level players in the NBA. No, they're not. Relax. They're really, really not. Aaron could honestly be it at some point this season, especially if he slows his ass down a little bit. And Payton, man, I think that if he takes more of the playmaking, only shoot when open, that kid can ball too, man. So I love both of those guards. I love our guard rotation. You basically are looking at a couple guys that aren't the best shooters, tagged with guys that could potentially be elite 40% or more shooters. You got good size, you got defense, attacking. We have a really good rotation in our guards this year, and I am very excited to see how that plays out in camp. Like I said, I told you I expect it to be Smart, Schroder, Payton, and Nesmith, and then Romeo, kind of, the odd man left out. But hey, maybe he proves me wrong. Shit, Payton did last year. Jags to riches, guys. James Peters, thank you so much for your time. I will be posting another video, and forgive me, it's been a few days. I'm in school right now. I had this exam, and I had a damn paper due. Paper went very well. The exam, not so much. So I was kind of pissy yesterday, kind of down about that. So I do apologize. Just very busy with school. this early week is a little bit freer for me. So in the next day or so, you will see another video drop, and it's going to be a camp battle, but it's going to be about like our forwards, maybe some of our bigs, and kind of get into the rest around those. You know what I mean? The Brown, the Tatums, Wanchos, Williams, Parkers. So that'll be coming out next. But guys, again, thank you so much for your time. If you haven't already done so, please like, subscribe. Go check out the other video, my weekly recap in the world of sports. That'll also be dropped at some point today. Thank you again, guys. Take care.